Welcome back to another video, guys, and today we're going to talk about a harsh truth about chess in general. This is the kind of thing that nobody wants to listen to, but it's actually something that is going to help you a lot improving your chess. Recently, I saw a video from Grandmaster Ben Feingold talking about how to improve in chess and why people get stuck in chess and they don't improve. It was a clip from a live stream that he was actually doing. And in that video, he basically says that if you are below, let's say 2300, that's what he says in the video, you should only be practicing tactics. You shouldn't be studying openings at all. And he's not the only one who says that. There are many other grandmasters that say the same thing. And that was extremely relatable because, especially to me, it was true in my case. When I actually decided to practice more tactics, my chess improved a lot instead of just studying openings. And to a certain level, to a certain extent, openings actually don't matter at all. If you play a good or bad opening, a good or bad line, it's very hard for your opponent to be able to exploit that opening if you are not like a top level player. I am not a professional player, I'm a hobby player, so it doesn't really matter if you play like a perfect line or a mediocre line. What's actually going to make you win games is tactics, is winning like a pawn or a piece. So basically what you should do is you should practice the basics of the opening and learn the more important main lines, the most important ones, and the main ideas of the opening, so you get like the hang of it and you can play it. But delving too deep into the lines and trying to learn all the sidelines for that opening is not actually going to help you that much. I mean, don't get me wrong, we all love studying openings. I love doing that. We love learning openings and opening traps and lines that we can play. But what's actually going to make you improve, and that was true to me as well, is actually practicing tactics, puzzles, and tactical problems every day. And to prove my point, I brought a game that I played against a friend of mine. And this one is very interesting. I was playing white, my opponent was playing black. And I played e4 in this game. My opponent replied by playing c5, the Sicilian defense. What's interesting about this one is that I kind of studied many lines against the Sicilian defense. I could play like the Smith-Morra gambit. I could go for maybe like an open Sicilian. I could play maybe an Alapin or even a delayed Alapin variation because I studied like the main ideas, those openings, and I know some of the lines. But you know what? I decided to go for something very simple, like a very basic setup against the Sicilian defense without getting too deep into theory. And I decided to just play knight f3 here. My opponent played d6 and I played d4. And after takes, we could go into deep theory here. My opponent played knight to f6. And we could go into deep theory by just playing, you know, knight here, then maybe bishop here or here, and then queen here, this pawn goes up. It's like very complex theory, but you know what? I decided to keep it simple and play like a simple setup. Develop my knight to c3, and after g6, I know my opponent is probably going to play bishop here and castle. So I decided to play a very basic move, which is bishop to e2. So this very basic setup against the Sicilian defense, preparing castle very quickly, is preventing knight from coming here, right? And discouraging that move. So I really like this setup because it's very simple. You just play your knight out, your bishop out, and you castle. That's it. And you have like all your pieces are pretty much developed. I just have to develop this bishop and this queen. And I mean, I have a game of chess here. And I don't have to know like super deep theory. And I'm probably going to outplay my opponent in the middle game by finding some kind of tactics that I can exploit and win like a pawn or a piece, or maybe get some strategical advantage by just improving my pieces, right? So my opponent just castled here, of course, and I play bishop to e3 in this position, right? So I'm developing all my pieces, and now I just have an idea. I'm just trying to play something like queen here and try to trade this bishop for this other bishop, which is, I mean, this piece is very strong, so I want to trade this piece down. My opponent plays a6 here, and I went for my plan. I played queen to d2 with the idea of just playing bishop here and trading this bishop. That's exactly what happened. My opponent played e6, I played bishop to h6, he takes, I take back, and after rook e8, I'm slightly better here. Computer says that I'm up 1.4, so it's plus 1.4 for white here. This position is actually good for me. I have all my pieces developed. Black's pieces are not very happy here, all in the starting squares. So yeah, I got rid of this very pesky bishop here, and there are some dark square issues on the king side. So I think this position is pretty good for me. And then I played f4, which was a mistake. So I should have done something here, like going for this and then trying to attack here on h7. I saw that, but I thought that maybe I should have to get rid of this knight first, so I was thinking about maybe playing this or this later, take this knight away, do something like that. And then after this move, my opponent played e5 here, and then I decided to take, and after takes and takes, I moved my knight back. And the idea here is to reroute this knight so I can come here and try to attack h7 with my queen that is very well positioned here. And after knight to c6 here, which is a losing move, this is actually the losing move in the game, I was already smelling blood. So this is the moment where you shift your gear from positional into tactical gear, right? So I developed a piece. I just moved my piece here where I was planning, so they didn't stop my plan of actually moving my knight here. And then I came with the knight here, already putting some pressure here on h7. And my opponent played bishop to e6. And then after that, I developed my rook here, trying to hit this queen. And that was my idea back in the game. My opponent just played knight to d4, blocking, right, with the knight, and attacking my bishop here with check. So that was going to ruin my plan. So what I did in this situation, just moved my bishop here, right, to d3. And after knight to g4, I saw something. Yeah, that move was not good. So here is when I definitely could see a win for me, because that was my plan all around, to get rid of this knight so I could attack h7 safely. This knight is a great defender here and is doing a great job. Maybe there are some ideas of sacrificing here, but I couldn't see that. But after this knight moved, I was like, this is actually my chance, right? Because now h7 is not defended anymore, so I can simply take this pawn with check, right? And not only that, I took the pawn with check, and then I said, well, where can this king go? Like, this king has to come here, but then I have, like, maybe I could take this and fork things. Of course, this knight could come back, but there might be some things like maybe knight takes, or maybe I could take with the queen, but this bishop is here. So after the king moved, I said, I gotta have something here. And then I started calculating which takes would actually be good here. Maybe taking here or here. And I was calculating here because, as I learned by playing tactics and practicing a lot of tactics, you have to go for checks and captures first, so you can see what actually you have in the position. And then I saw that actually taking with the rook was checkmate. Checkmate in two, actually. Because, I mean, there was nothing that black could do. They could simply take back with the bishop, but then I would have checkmate here. So that was GG. I took and sacrificed the rook, like Levy says. And after black takes with the bishop, I delivered checkmate with the queen. So what won this game was actually good tactics, pattern recognition, and not like super deep theory in the opening. So this is true for most of your games. Probably you lose games because you just blunder a piece in one move, or because maybe you overlook a tactic and your opponent saw it. Or maybe because you win the games for the same reason, because you saw a tactic that your opponent didn't, maybe a fork, skewer, some kind of tactic that got you a piece, or maybe even more than that, like checkmate in this case. So that's why I agree with Grandmaster Ben Feingold. I agree with Ben in the point that tactics are actually going to win you games, and If you don't blunder your piece in one move, and if you find some tactics in your game, if you practice a lot with tactics and puzzles, you're gonna find those things in your games, and you're gonna win the games. So openings actually are a waste of time if you're not a professional chess player. You can learn the basic ideas, you can study some openings, but if you dedicate more time for puzzles and tactics, then that's actually going to improve your chess in general. I think that most people would love to be middle game magicians and play the middle game perfectly, because honestly, that's actually the game of chess. So guys, if you like this video, don't forget to leave a like, comment down below if you agree or disagree with me. Leave a comment down below anyway. I'd like to hear your thoughts as well on this matter. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more. And as always, I see you guys in the next video.